Next live, man.
Shout out Upnex Live.
Shout out Upnex Live.
Gang, it's the big step of the well-known flexer here with Upnex Live.
Listen, welcome to Upnex Live. DJ MK, Brittany, ELYSE. You know, we talk about everything that's going up next. And for you, it's really about what you got coming up next because you just done so much already. So we wanted to tap in with you. First off, we wanted to tell you that we definitely appreciate your time talking with us tonight. You know, a lot of people in the chat was like, oh, I know he's going to give y'all some gems. So we here for that. I know there's a lot of artists that are already tapped in watching. So we wanted to start off by saying thank you for tapping in with us. And, you know, what's next? What's up next for Rico Love?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. And thank you for having my artist Mia on earlier. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. What's next is we building the label D1MG, Division One Music Group, and I'm excited about the new signings we're working on, new artists like Mia Ariana, a new artist that I'm actually in the studio with now named Rubina. She's from Vancouver, Canada. Wifey Baby, a rapper from Atlanta that I've been working with. Chandler, who's an R&B male artist that I'm developing. Just a lot of things it's really about building and cultivating the culture and signing new dope talent and just teaching the substance and quality and hoping that people can receive great songs and great production and just grow as an executive and as a leader, you know?
I think one of the things that I want to know is like, how do you know when that artist has that it factor, when you're ready to sign that person? What is that thing that goes off of you that you're like, this is the person that is ready?
Yeah, it's just a certain star energy. And I learn as I go, right? I learn because there's a time where I would see somebody who had an incredible voice and be like, oh, wow, and then it's like a kid in a candy store because I'm in a studio and I'm writing songs on somebody who could do anything. And it's so much fun, and I'm believing, oh, this is going to be it. And then sometimes you realize, okay, yeah, they had an incredible voice, but were they a star, right? So then that don't work out, and you go to the next thing, and you're like, all right, cool. Well, they have an incredible talent. They're a star, but are they going to work hard? Okay, well, that didn't work out. The next thing, and as you go, you start picking up all of the different attributes that you know and qualities that are found in people who make it. There are some people who are incredible talents. There's some people who just walk in the room and they just light up the room and they have that star energy. And then there's some people who are incredible talents, walk in the room, have the star energy, and are hungry for success and willing to work and dedicate themselves to pursuing that. Like tunnel vision, all they see is the finish line. And those are the type of things that as I go, is like I'm learning how to pick up on who has all three, you know?
Now, when you came across Mia, she told us she DM'd you in 2016. And then this is what I said, we got to answer these DMs. We got to answer these DMs. But she said 2 years later, which is sometimes it's all about timing. So 2 years later, it came back full circle where you guys were able to actually have a conversation and move forward. What did she have all those attributes that you were speaking of? And that's why you decided to bring her on, or what was it specifically about her that you were like, she got? Because when I met her, I was like, oh, I love this girl.
I saw a video of her rapping. She wrote a freestyle to a Roddy Ricch record, and it was just pocket and timing, her tone and everything about it just caught me. And what happened was I was looking for R&B singers for this project I put together called Rico Love Presents Emerging Women of R&B. And I thought she was a rapper, so I saw her and I DM'd her. I said, look, I'm doing this R&B one, but next I'm gonna do a rap one. And when I do that, I wanna put you on. She said, no, I'm a singer. I just rapped in that video, but I sing. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So then I said, she said, can I sing you some songs? I said, cool. Which I never really do. I never take people's songs. I hear anything online, but I don't like people to email me songs for legal reasons. So I said, cool. And she sent me 7 songs, 6 or 7. It's 7 songs. By the way, those are only 7 songs she had ever recorded in her life. She only been in the studio like 3 times in her whole life at that point. And so when she sent me those songs, I was floored. I was like, oh, she got it. And Sylvia Rome was in town. She calls me. She was in Miami. She called me and said, hey, let's get lunch. So I said, cool, I'll come meet you. We have lunch. And she said, what you got? What you working on? And I said, look, it's this girl I just found on Instagram a few days ago, and I think she's really, really dope. And I just showed the video to Sylvia. And Sylvia was like, I love it. I love it. Let's do this. We've been waiting to do something together. Let's do this. So she gave me a deal. She gave me a label deal at Epic, and was like, let's do this. She said, I like her. I think she's a star and I know what you do. And a few months later, you know, she said, I want to do it. And I didn't call her or anything. I didn't say anything. And a month later, she called me and said, what's up? I thought we was doing this deal. So like, okay, she's serious. So I flew Mia out to LA and we went and sat down with her and she met me and Mia sat there. Mia said, can I sing for you? That's what I like, because most people don't act. She said, can I sing something? And she started singing this cover of a Genuine record that she did, and she killed it. And Sylvia loved it. And from then we just started working, and it was incredible. But the thing that I saw was just this energy, this young, vibrant energy, you know what I mean? Paired with incredible records, I just knew that she would take off.
I mean, it's funny you say that, because when we were doing the interview with her and we were asking to reference certain things, she just started singing it. She couldn't remember what she did, but she just started singing it for us. And I love that, because it's like in R&B, I haven't seen a lot of people that genuinely just come out and will sing to you nowadays. You know what I mean? People got things so attached to things, but she just did it so genuinely that it's like, oh, she is this. Like, she lives this. Like, this is just in her. So it definitely makes a ton of sense. She's dope. We just got the live with her. Like, her energy is very vibrant. Like, I get it. She's fired. Like, she's
definitely a star. She's definitely a superstar.
Listen, we talked about the project, so we was hoping to get some snippets. She said no, she wasn't giving us that. Just
the only thing she gave us was some titles.
You know,
we can hold off on that.
We got some really strong records. Like we recorded. She's been signed to me for a little over a year and a half. We've got like 96 songs recorded. Yeah, no, exactly.
But going from a girl that he just said had 7 songs, 96 in that matter of time frame, like she's putting in that work.
What I did was I booked our entire studio for a month when I first signed her, and we just went and wrote and did songs every day for 30 days. And then after that, we did a little more work here and there, but then I went to Charlotte and went to her hometown and booked the studio for a few weeks. And we just was writing songs and making records for a few weeks. I rented a house out there and I just camped out and just wrote records with her. So one thing that she loves to do is record and work in that capacity. So we just got to make sure she understands the work after the music. Because the music is what you love, is the passion. It's the easy part. After that, when you got to put the footwork in, that's the difficult part. And she's learning that process of understanding that, all right, it's not just like, oh, my song should come out tomorrow. Or, oh, let me put out a project tomorrow. It's timing, it's a system, it's a structure. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of checks and balances that have to go through before you can put out a record, because you're competing on a roster, not only with other artists on labels, but also with all of the artists that are already established and the brands that have already been solidified on that actual label, which I mean by that is our major, which is, Epic. So it's a really incredible process for her to be 22 years old and be learning the game the way she is. So I'm interested to see, how she adapts to what she's learning.
No, I'm excited to watch her journey come into fruition and just see where it goes. Now, you wear a lot of hats. Producer, songwriter, artist. Like, what made you decide to go into the direction of your own label, of Division One? What was that like? How did you get there?
I started Division One 20 years ago. So it was always the plan. When I signed to Usher, actually 16 years ago, I started D1. When I signed to Usher, the first thing I did, I signed an artist, a female singer named Takara Hamilton. So I was always, that was always my thing, I grew up in the era of Russell and Andre Harrell. Well, on the tail of Andre Harrell, but Puff, and watching Puff, and I always saw myself as that. I always saw myself as just not just an artist or a writer, but just I always wanted to own my label and have artists. I wanted to be Diddy,
And I think that's what a lot of people miss, is that like Diddy was like 19, 20, 21, like very young, owning a label and pushing these artists. And I feel like a lot of people in history don't realize, like, this man started when he was very young, owning a label. When you think of owning a label, you think of it being like, you got to be established and have all this experience and accolades and stuff. But it's like, really, it's just how you position what you're doing.
And in fairness, Russell was super young. Andre Harrell was super young. Steve Rifkin was super young. These guys was young guys, owning labels and signing some of the biggest acts in the world. So Barry Gordy was young. You know what I mean? It wasn't like when he started Motown. So it's always going to be a young man's game, a young man's energy. So having that mindset and learning as you grow. Now, some people just were able to see it through at a young age. Some of us were able to cultivate and build and understand and learn and fall down and get back up and fall down and get back up. Sign this one and this one happened and this thing happened. And it's all about resilience that I possess, that I believe I'm not stopping until it actually works. And that's you know, you learn from those guys, but you realize there's not that much difference between all of the people who were able to establish their brands early on in that era. There was a bunch of young guys who just loved the culture, you know. Young women as well.
Oh, that's you. She said me.
You know,
I think over time you have been able to remain so timeless in your artistry and your producing and music. How have you been able to make the sound fit in each time? Because you're never behind, you're never forward. It's just perfect right there every time. So how have you been able to just fit that timelessness?
There's certain things that's always going to work, right? And it's all about adding those accents to it that make it current and consistent, being a part of the culture. If you ever hung out, if I took you out with me in Miami, you would see I hang out. I'm always in the streets. You know what I mean? I'm always out here. I'm on the other side of the bridge. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily mean South Beach. We on the other side of the bridge.
Right.
So you might see me in the office. You might see me in the Mint. You might see me in Take One. You might see me in, you know, Studio 183. You might, anything. I'm always amongst the people and understanding the lingo and the energy. I'm always looking at Instagram. I'm always studying it and not looking at it in the sense of just on a zombie type energy,
right.
but studying and understanding how people are moving, how they're speaking, and what's the terminologies and the energy and how the syncopations and the pockets. You have to be a consistent student of this, or else you'll get left behind. So what I always know is that a great song is always going to be a great song. It's all about how do you sprinkle it with things that are modern enough to fit in and still feel real, you know, still feel right. You know, so when I do a twerk for City Girls, you think about it, I did Ball for T.I. You know what I mean? We was doing New Orleans Bounce before everybody was coming on the, you know what I mean? So understanding that some things are just going to always work. You know, booty music is going to always work on some level.
Right.
A great R&B song is just going to work. It's a great trap record is just going to work. There's certain melodies that are just classic and timeless, and I'm a student of that. But the key is to be able to make sure the lingo and the terminologies and the pocket and the bounce is current. You can't sound dead. I know a lot of guys who write circles around me, but they sound like it's 97. Now you gotta feel like you gotta feel like 97. It can't sound like 97. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the difference. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
And even with R&B, it's kind of like it's always evolving, but it always still stays the same. Where I feel like
the things that work is gonna work. You know what I mean? The thing is just about the pocket. When you listen to Damaged by Her, you just like this is a great song. That's always gonna work.
Top 5 favorite R&B records right now.
That's just gonna always work. You just know that's gonna work. You're not but it doesn't feel dated. It has the soul, it has the energy, it has the substance. Like I said, you gotta feel like 97. It can't sound like 97. You gotta feel like that nostalgic energy, and you borrow from those things that always work. But how do you say it in a way that a person who was born 15 years ago is going to be able to
feel that or relate to that?
Exactly. Right. And you know how they do, they take credit for it and like, oh, this is that new energy that we know. Whatever works for you, sweetie. If that's what you think.
You just sample like 2 tracks from the 90s. So.
Exactly.
Really, it's just a play off of that. Something I wanted to ask you, because you have been through so many different like eras of sound and music, like during 2020, during this like huge time where a lot of artists and just creatives in general had to pivot in the way that they do things, like how have you pivoted like in this time? Have you had to pivot with not being able to move around, or have you still kept moving and just kind of just made it work?
Yeah, I move around when I have to, and I do what I got to do, and I make sure I'm safe and I'm wearing my mask and doing what I have to do, but also understand that it's a great deal of sacrifice for everybody. Everybody's losing money right now. Everybody's like taking losses, you know, unless it's Jeff Bezos or Walmart or something like that. But for the most part, we all are in a position where we're not able to earn at our full capacity. We're not able to promote at our full capacity. We're not able to go do radio promo and stuff like that. Like we would, in a perfect world, be sitting down face to face doing this interview.
Exactly.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what are we going to do about it? That is the key. And that is everything in life. It's not just about, oh, we in a tough situation, I'm going to mope around. What am I going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, there's somebody else doing something about it. So I could be a part of a group of people that's doing something about it, or I could be a part of a group of people that's saying, remember, man, I was going to pop off, but when I got signed, it was 2020, and we couldn't do this. No, but if some people got signed that same year, there's some people who did a label deal that same year, there's people who have had artists to break the same year, what did they do? Because everybody's not going to fail. Somebody's going to win. You got to understand that either I'm going to be a part of the haves or the have-nots. Either I'm going to be on the side of the people who made excuses, or I'm going to be on the side of the people that made it happen. So at the end of the day, it's some difficult things that have gone on. It's some losses that we had to take. It's some, you know, even spiritually, is a lot of pressure, heavy, that's kind of like causing a wedge between communications between people in general. It's just a lot of stuff going on. But you got to decide, am I going to see and understand that this has all been designed to see who's who and what's what? Or am I going to take the lazy approach and just say, well, look, hey, well, can't nobody move around, so I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. That's just who I am.
No, and I think even on like a spiritual tip, I feel like we talked about this earlier today about like just your spirit has had to learn patience. Even as the artist, we're used to like doing shows, being out, like you said, moving around, touring. Like nobody in their lifetime has probably ever experienced something like this. So it's just something that just learning to grow through it has just been interesting to see, because the way that the world was kind of evolving anyway is we were already in this digital route. So it's like if you were slacking on YouTube, your ass better been popping on YouTube in 2020. You had nothing but time to sit there on the laptop and just get busy with it. I mean, I heard a lot of people say it's been a blessing to them. They've been able to be in the studio more. I mean, you probably live in the studio, but have you been in the studio more than you would have?
I mean, it's the same. I mean, I'm always working. I'm always going to be in the studio anyway. I'm always writing. I love writing music. I love developing. I love making records. So I would have always did that anyway. I think I got a chance, the opportunity to kind of sit still in the first 3 months when nobody was moving at all. And you just kind of like sitting around. And I got a chance to kind of like understand myself a little bit more. And emotional ties and a lot of the generational curses or things like that have been going on in my life, and I got a chance to understand myself more, and that helps me with my writing. You know, I'm only saying that to say I was able to dig deep and see what caused a lot of the personal angst and turmoil that I deal with, right? The battles that I fight within my own mind. I was able to see those things, and when I get in the studio, I feel like a closer connection to myself. I feel able to accept the fact that I'm starting to understand why I tick the way why I'm functioning the way that I function in certain ways, some good, some bad. And I think musically, that's done wonders for me. And also with teaching We Love Music conference, teaching my classes, I was able to kind of identify with who I am and learn and sit with things and kind of like study this certain thing. I think that was an incredible opportunity for me to get to know me a little bit better so that I could manifest what I know about myself and what I want to be, manifest where I want to be. And how I want to be better and put that in the music. I think that was an incredible opportunity for me personally.
I think that's a common denominator across every time we have these conversations with the artists and just everybody. It seems that almost everybody's like, I had that time to really identify me for me, and had it does not happen, I probably would still be moving the same way that I was already moving. And now I can understand how to shift and be better. Yeah,
there's a lot of big changes going on in my life. But also I'm understanding the change within myself by recognizing like what my role is in some of the bad and also in a lot of the great. You know what I mean? So I think we focus so much on all of our role and how we make things better, but a lot of times we don't see how certain things that we've done or we've said or we've felt or expressed may have affected certain situations. Some of it not even our fault. Some of it just things that we were just, kind of like conditioned to feel, we were conditioned to feel a certain way, or we had things happen to us at a young age, and we started experiencing and understanding it as adults now, like, oh wow, this is why I react to things this way. I learned that I have social anxiety. I didn't realize what it even was until I just posted a tweet about how things had made me feel. So now it's cool to have a therapy session with the whole world, but how are you going to use that and and write about it and help somebody else see it for themselves and what they're going through and share it so we can understand each other. So as far as being a leader and an executive, I think that this time has helped me to be able to understand others as well, in my communication with others, in my dealings with others. And some people are going to have their own journey as well on how they figure themselves out. But for me personally, I think it's done wonders for me and where I want to go.
You were just dropping all types of gems and facts. Have you ever written a book, or have you thought about writing a book?
Yeah, I definitely want to write a book. You know what?
I can see that.
I used to read so much in college, right? And then I stopped reading for many years. And then the past like 4 or 5 months, I just been reading, just reading nonstop. I'll pick up a book, read it. After I'm finished with that, I'll just start another one. And I'm kind of obsessed with James McBride. He's an incredible author, and I've been reading his books, and I'm on like my 4th book of his right now. And I was like, man, I got to do this, but I have to understand how to articulate myself the way that geniuses like him do. I never want to do anything just to do it. I want to make sure that I'm doing it at a high level. Even screenplays and writing film ideas, and I'm studying how to do it really good instead of just saying, okay, I want to do it. No, how do I do it and be good at it and to be the quality that I like to write? I like reading incredible books. So if I'm gonna write a book, I got to make sure I'm writing on the level that these guys are writing it.
You know what might help is getting like a recorder and just walking around talking to it, just telling the stories to the recorder, just to get it going. Right, just timestamp. This happened, da da da. And then when you go back to actually write it, then all you gotta do is listen to your story. And because when I write, I add things after I've listened to what I've already written. So I have to read it and read it, and then go back and I'll add things. And I would assume it's pretty much similar to writing songs, because you might write something and then you'll listen to it and read it and then go back and you got another line. So maybe doing a recorder situation where you're talking out your stories, because I believe that you probably have stories for days. I can believe it. And you have gems. So it's like you're applying what you learned in life to these experiences that you went through.
That's a great idea.
I'd read it, trust me. Let's make it a best-selling New York Times. I'm on board.
Look, manifestation, right? Manifestation.
We talked about that today.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to ask you, because I know, like what she said earlier, you wear a lot of hats. And I think in this business, and even now how it is anybody, producer, artist, you have to wear multiple hats, because you have to really know, I guess like a better way, you gotta know your shit. So like, how do you shift your mind from like, all right, now it's time to write, now it's time to produce, now it's time to wear, like you're saying, the executive hat? Like, how do you get your mind like focused in that way to just be able to delegate and handle all that?
I don't think it's conscious. I just get up and do what I love. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. On my worst day, I'm blessed to know that I'm doing music for a living. So it's all about in which capacity I want to do music. If I want to focus, if I have to focus today on the label side, and I have to chase down a product manager and talk about a photo shoot, a video shoot, and talk about stylists and picking out this and who's going to do this and this, then it's still in the parameters of just doing music. It's just the same as like if I'm in the studio and I'm trying to figure out what sound I want to use or what progression we're going to go with. It's just music, and it's just being able to exist inside of this thing that you love so much. So I don't think that I have to mentally prepare for that. I just kind of just get up and I always say my prayer. I'm praying all day. I pray all day, every day, right? And but it's just become uniform for me to just be always in tune and close to God and speak to God and pray. But as far as preparing myself, I think that my life has prepared me. And even right now, what I'm doing right now is preparing me for the next thing. And then as I'm doing that, it's preparing me for the next thing. But I don't necessarily have to say, all right, today I have to do this. And I just do it, because at the end of the day, I'm a leader in everything. If I stop, everything stops. And a lot of people don't understand what I mean by that. I mean, like, if I can't do what I do, then my kids don't eat. You know what I mean? I'm the only person who that's it. If you don't do what you're going to do, they're going to suffer. Your family going to suffer. Your mother don't have this. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that responsibility does not go unnoticed. It's in the back of my mind always, and it's a part of who I am at this point. So yeah, it's a situation where I can't feel like, well, there's so much I got going on, bro. Get up and get it, because first of all, you're doing music. Like, seriously. Now, I'm not trying to say like this is not a serious job and not an important job, but the beauty of being able to say I actually love what I do, that takes away a lot of the weight that a lot of other people have to deal with, and just mentally, because a lot of people who are 10 times more talented than me aren't in a position to do what they actually love for a living. And like I said, on my worst day, I still know that music was able to get me together. You know what I mean?
People probably are over there, like, perspective-wise, praying to have the type of problems that you have, being overwhelmed or having a lot going on.
Yeah,
like,
they don't want these problems, but they think they
wake up and have to be in a position to have.
Yeah, they just at least they want to be able to say that that's their job. But the problems, it's all the same. Like, we all got, it's all relative, right? Like, so it's like that part. I don't want you guys to miss, people listening. I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying my issues aren't the same or bigger. You know what I mean? But it's about the fact that whatever it is, I can go back to know that I'm doing music and I'm based around music, and whatever I need to get myself out of, music will do it for me. And that's the blessing that people don't, you know, that I don't take for granted.
You just gave me so much, because I might not be an artist or a songwriter, a producer, but I always take conversations like this and I like to apply it to what I actually do, from hosting to interviewing. Because I mean, I believe for everybody, anything like this, it's almost universal. You can apply these things to anywhere in your life. And you really, I'm telling you, I need this book. I'm 2021 at next January.
We gotta start the book this year.
Next December, 2021 December. I'm gonna be looking at you like, where them recordings at?
Yeah. A lot of people, I post these posts on my page sometimes about things that's on my mind, and just certain things, ways that I see the world, and they kind of get received really well. And a lot of people will say to me, but you should do those every day. And I say, whatever I do has to be real. And this frustrates a lot of people because they want you to be like this way and say this thing, do. And it's like, I have to be genuine about anything I do, or else it doesn't, I don't even think it would come off natural. I don't think it would roll off the tongue the same way. So even with a book, if I'm writing it, if I'm saying this, you got to make sure that it's something I'm being led to do, and that it just makes perfect sense. Now, I'm sure there's tons of material that I've taught. There's tons of quotes that I've said. There's tons of things that I have saved that I sure can make a book right now. But when I decide to sit down and write it, I got to be led. I got to be led to do it in a way that's like overwhelming. The same way I'm led to write a song every day. The same. So when I do that, I want to make sure that it's so genuine and so real. I don't like to do things just because somebody says you should do it. And I'm not saying it because of you saying it. I'm saying I want to be, and I'm leaning towards that, by the way. But I just want to make sure that when I do it, I don't get into a place where, you know, you start writing for 4 months and then you're just like, oh, whatever.
Right.
I want to be like, I can't wait to this long plane ride so I can finish my book. I can't wait to take this trip over here so I can sit down for a few weeks and just focus on the book. I can't wait to take, you know, if I want to be that.
Yeah, we got
when I am. Yeah. Somebody called my phone. When I am, that's when it's gonna be perfect, you know.
I'm excited about that. Well, we can't let this go by without mentioning our mutual friend, Q the Rebel.
Oh, Q, what up? Yeah.
In the street.
Yeah, when he found out we were doing this today, he was like, "Oh my God, it's time." You know, honestly, before we were even doing things like this, it was just kind of an idea. Q was our very first videographer. He held us down. He was going to concerts with us. And I believe at one point he didn't know how to edit because he was bringing in an editing team. But definitely he was a major blessing to us. And then he said to us today, and he was like, and I went over to Rico Love, and he was a major blessing to me. So I was just like, I'm happy we were
edit. You think? I think he knows how to edit. He always knows how to edit.
Now he do, yeah.
But since I met him, he knew how to edit. I just think he's smart enough now to understand what teamwork does. Like, you know, a lot of people don't understand. You get a lot more done when you can delegate some of that work to other people and help develop and cultivate. I'm learning as well as a songwriter to know that I got a lot of young writers who I mentor who, you know, soon, they might not know this, but I'm going to start sending them work. Like, yo, they asked me to do this project, you write it. Let's see what you come up with. And able to have 6, 7 different things going on at once, because I'm only one person. And over time, I'm gonna be writing songs as recreation. So, you know, that's my goal, and my dream is to be able to say I write music for fun. You know what I mean? I do it for fun, but I still make a living from it. I want to be able to say that it's just fun for me, and anything else after that is extra, you know. So in doing so, you got to learn how to delegate some of that responsibility to people you trust and people you've developed and cultivated yourself.
What is one thing in 2021 that you want to accomplish?
I want to break an artist. That's my main thing. I want to break and establish a successful artist, and I want my label to be able to say, "Wow, we all these years trying and failing, we finally broke an act, and we started what is what I feel like is my ultimate goal is having one of the most incredible and most successful record companies ever."
Manifest.
Yeah, we're putting it out there. So, who's somebody on like a Rico Love bucket list of artists that you haven't had an opportunity to work with yet that you still would love to collaborate with?
Rufus Wainwright, Jay-Z, and who would I so say? Rufus Wainwright, Jay, and I would love to do an entire Beyonce album. I've worked with Beyonce, of course, had a bunch of records where, but I would love to do an entire Beyonce album.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm here for it. Look, I am here for that.
We here for all that. I'm definitely here for all that. Listen, we don't want to take up your whole night. We are mad grateful for you tapping in with us. Anything that's coming up next, we want to talk about, we want to promote. We love Mia. You know what I'm saying? Like anything we can do to support anything she got going on. You know, we in Orlando, you know what I'm saying? We just up the street, you know, and we outside.
Yeah, we outside.
I seen y'all was outside. I seen a party y'all had.
Look. Which one? You talking about the City Girls one or there's been a lot.
I seen y'all doing some. It was so many cameras in the crowd, and you was on stage popping off, and they was hanging on every word.
That's on a Saturday night.
Okay, yeah. I said, I gotta get out there. No, but
right.
Yeah, I'm doing another We Love Music conference Zoom where we breaking down Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. I'm doing a whole breakdown of each song, what I believe led up to that album, all of the projects that Michael was a part of beforehand, the collaborators, and why Off the Wall is one of my favorite. Off the Wall to me trumps Thriller. I mean, obviously the success of Thriller was humongous, but as far as a body of work, to me, Off the Wall was my favorite Michael project. So I'm breaking that down. That's February 18th and 19th. I'm doing a 2-day seminar for that. Go to welovemusicconference.com and also follow at We Love Music Conference on Instagram for information for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on that. But that's next up. Mia's dropping her EP top of the year. Well, yeah, top of the year, first or second quarter. So we're gonna be releasing more music. She got a record out right now called Hurt Sometimes featuring Lil Jon, 4K. And I'm just excited about her. I'm actually in the studio right now again. My artist, Rubina, she's from Vancouver. She's 16 years old, and she is insane, like insanely talented. Plays the piano and just classically trained, but not like, that doesn't mean anything to me. But that part of it doesn't mean anything. The fact that she's, because I know people like, I'm classically trained too. Yeah, but she got it. She's got it, but she's incredible, and I'm excited about that. Rapper, Wifey Baby, Chandler, just so much. Ariel is an artist named Ariel from Harlem, who I'm actually signing as well. She's incredible. She's on the Rico Love Presents Emerging Women of R&B. If you go listen to that album, she's on track 1. And check her out. I'm also signing her, so I'm excited about that. I'm building a team, an incredible roster of artists. Oh, and one more artist named Lil Bam, a rapper named Lil Bam from Florida. Yeah. So I'm excited about him. We're gonna get it going with B1MG.
About him.
Yeah, they spin him out here too.
Yeah, he gets a lot of love.
That's what's up.
He's warming up.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and slide the people my DJ email, you know what I'm saying? Feel free.
Yeah.
DJ packs, anything we can. We definitely appreciate you.
I'm following you guys I'm following you guys now too, so we're going to be in touch.
I'm gonna pop in on that the Zoom because I would love to sit in on that. I feel like I would love that.
Yeah, I think it'll be extremely beneficial.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I already told MK, I said write that down. Write that thing.
Not any graphics, any posts, we'll definitely share.
Well, we'll share it too.
Thank you, thank you.
Happy holidays to you. We look forward to seeing all this stuff. You know, we look forward to watching. You know what I'm saying? We look forward to watching, seeing it happen, listening to it, and God bless, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me, and thank you for loving Mia. All right.
Yeah.